Man, we've had a long journey with this Sonic Boom stuff. The first trailer dropped in 2014 and we've all been talking about it ever since. For the majority of 2014, I was super excited about the Boom universe. Not even just because it was something new with Sonic, but because it was something different. And different it was. Because the games got totally different review scores than I thought they'd get. How did I not see this coming when the clues were so in my face the entire time? Was I stupid? Could be true, but I think a lot of us were caught up in what I said, and that is different. For about 4 years, we were so used to seeing this new Sonic that took on an almost completely different personality. He had a new voice actor that sounded nothing like what we were used to, his gameplay was different, which actually started in Unleashed, and it came together to form the modern era. Each 3D game had this boost gameplay, and we only really got to play with Sonic in every one. So when something promises different gameplay, multiplayer, and other playable characters, yeah, people are going to hype this thing regardless of the quality, especially after the release of Lost World, which let a lot of people down in many ways. Sonic was on a hot streak up until then. There was no way this new Sega was going to fail again. You really gotta put yourself in 2014 to understand a lot of it. Though I've never played the Boom games to completion, it's a shame that they ended up the way they did. Everything that could have gone wrong with the games pretty much did. And that sucks, even though I don't really have a valid opinion on them, which is why I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. I gotta talk about all of Boom, I wanna end it here. No more Sonic Boom videos after this one. Where do my opinions stand on the franchise? Well, let's go back to the character designs. Remember how controversial those were? I think I'll always dislike how tall the Sonic characters have gotten, especially here. It's just weird looking, I don't know, do they have to be that tall? But anyways, I don't have a problem with the bandages or even the blue arms. Maybe it's because I see it so much now, but the designs really don't bother me. Except Knuckles. That design is still hideous. What were they thinking? Looks like... I don't know what he looks like. What does he look like? He looks like a mix between that red thing from Looney Tunes and that red guy from, I think it's Foster's Home? I don't know the guy's name, but it's like, take Knuckles and mix him with those characters. You got Boom Knuckles, right? And their personalities can also be an issue with people. I don't think they're bad in the context of the show at all. Sonic and friends all have something funny to say, and the chemistry is definitely there. You get a sense that the voice actors enjoy being there. I think it all comes down to your personal connection with the characters and what they should be. If we're comparing them to their original selves, yeah, I vastly prefer the characters I grew up with. The purpose of Boom is to invite a new wave of people into the fandom. It's a reboot, in a sense. For instance, I hate Boom Knuckles. Why? Because he's the exact opposite of why I like the character. Knuckles was a strong character that didn't have to pull off the cliche powerhouse look. He was always a collected character that believed anything he heard because he constantly questioned his existence and why he was supposed to do a certain thing. It's not because he's stupid, but that's easier to market to kids. Sadly, this is where modern Knuckles is as well, which is probably the biggest slap in the face to a Sonic character I've seen, but it's acceptable in the Boom world. So I ignore it. I don't want anything to do with whatever that is. The Nux in my name is definitely this guy, not that. So yeah, the main cast is fine, but Boom did grant me one of my favorite characters in the entire series. I'm not even kidding, and that is Styx the Badger. I'm not joking either, I really dig this character. Remember when I made that rant video about how this should have been Marine and we don't need clones like a Smash Brothers rant? Yeah, I like what they did with Styx. She's crazy, weird, no one sounds or acts like her from my knowledge, and the fact that so many people hate her makes me like her even more. I have no problem with them bringing Styx into the regular series. In fact, I'd love it if they kept putting her in the Olympic Games, but actually like make the characters playable next time. Yeah, that was a bitch move. The TV show is something I've never really had an issue with, and like I said in the past, that's basically what Boom was to begin with, a TV show franchise. The confusion really just came from the fact that Sonic is a video game character, and we immediately paired the two games with the name before the main thing. As years go by, Boom gets more and more easier to accept for that reason. It's almost like if any other cartoon show got video games. If there was a Sonic X game or a Sat AM game, obviously Obviously, Boom is the most drastic show we've seen as far as characterization and design, and Sonic X literally takes scenarios from the adventure games, but the same applies. It's a television show that no one considers canon. I don't like to think that Chris Thorndike was around during Adventure 2. Please, don't ever make me think that. It has games, and I was hyped for those games, but if Rise of Lyric didn't get historically low review scores, most of us would remember Boom as a cartoon series. And if I'm being honest, that's all its legacy should have been. See, you might disagree with what I said since Sega really hyped up Rise of Lyric and Shatter Crystal, making some people even believe that it was the successor to the adventure formula. If all of that were erased, oh man, the reception of Boom would be so much different. Even if we only took away Rise of Lyric, the results will be similar. I can't bring myself to completely hate Sonic Boom content-wise, but one thing I'll always dislike about it is its existence. Looking back, part of me wishes it never happened. I'm sure it brought in some success for Sega. I know plenty of people who support the franchise, but it did add another huge dent into Sonic's legacy. It did forever add Boom Knuckles to Google Images, it did forever add another Sonic into the already divided fanbase and series, it did forever give us some of the lowest selling Sonic games we've ever seen, and finally, it was the strong push to give Sonic the dead franchise label that made people hate Sonic almost if not more than they did in 2007. Take that as you will, but it's about that time. Sonic Boom, you thing that exists, you'll be here forever. Your fans will grow up, look back on you like I do with Sonic X. You will be someone's nostalgia one day. But today, you're just that thing that exists. If you contribute one thing for me, I hope it's that you replace the overbearing humor in the modern Sonic games, so I can actually witness a Sonic the Hedgehog game that doesn't feel like someone is holding a please laugh sign after Sonic speaks. I should have saw how broken Rise of Lyric would turn out to be. You fooled me more than I thought you would. You tricky bastard. But I'm done. I'm done speaking about you. Maybe I'll mention you again, but it's time to move on. You be you, I be me. Great. Sayonara, Sonic Boom.